time we saw how you can assign a value to a variable. Well, that's not very interactive. And on top of that, you have to change your program each and every time. But there's another way to assign a value to a variable, and you don't even have to change your program for that. The command we want to introduce you to is called input. This command holds the program and will ask you to enter a value, which will be stored in a specific variable. In this example, we want the user to enter a value, which will be assigned to variable C. Once you've entered that value, it will be assigned to C, just as if you'd written C is 20. The next time you run the program, you may enter an entirely different value. And yes, you can reassign another value to the same variable if you want to do so. So why did I want to introduce you to input? Because today we'll be exploring quoted strings. And that's a feature that makes programming fun because it allows you to print anything you like onto the screen. They may also be called string literals or string constants, but they're essentially the same thing. For the remainder of this course, we will refer to them as quoted strings. Now, what are quoted strings? You know what a line is, huh? It's a line of text you may find in a book. The only thing you need to turn a line of text into a quoted string is to enclose it by double quotes. That's all there is to it. But there are two things that aren't allowed in a quoted string. First, you can break it up by putting an enter halfway, so it becomes spread over two lines. It has to start and finish on the same line. You can't have double quotes within a quoted string. Single quotes are fine, but double quotes are a big no-no. Now, what can you do with quoted strings? First, you may put them in a print or input statement so you can give some feedback, clarify things, or give some additional information. The input statement allows just a single string, right before the variable you want to assign the value to. The print statement allows a bit more. Since every place you can put a variable in, you can put a quoted string in. And yes, that means you can have a print statement with only quoted strings and no variables at all. Or print statement with both variables and quoted strings, as long as you separate them by commas. So let's take a look at this little program. The first print statement only has a quoted string, and that's fine. The quoted string is printed on the screen. Then we have a typical input statement. Again, the quoted string is printed, but this time the computer waits for you to input something. When you've entered that, the final print command is executed, which contains both variables and quoted string, nicely separated by commas. And that's a wrap. So, what did we learn today? You know what quoted strings are and that uBasic 4 supports them. A quoted string is any line of uninterrupted text without double quotes that begins and ends with a double quote. You know that there's another interactive way to assign a value to a variable, and that's the input command. You can prepend any quoted string at the beginning of an input statement as long as you separate it from the variable by a comma. You can add any quoted string to a print statement and mix it with other quoted strings and variables as long as you separate them by commas. Well, and that's the end of the line.